morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have such a fun video for you. You've read the title, so you know what it's going to be all about. Today we're talking about continuous glucose monitors. I just picked up my delivery from Nutrisense, so we're going to be talking about what continuous glucose monitors are, and I'm going to be trying out Nutrisense and their app that goes along with it. I'm really excited to try Nutrisense because in the past when I've used continuous glucose monitors, I've just used the stock standard app, and Nutrisense is really tailored for helping you to realize the correlation between what you're eating and your blood sugar and your glycemic variability, all that. So I'm super excited. Like I said, I just picked up my delivery from Nutrisense. So this is a continuous glucose monitor. If you guys aren't familiar with what continuous glucose monitors are, these are devices that measure your blood sugar 24/7. The other way to measure your blood sugar is by pricking your finger and using a reader. But this only gives you one reading from a snapshot in time. And yeah, you can keep pricking your fingers all day long and continue to measure and get a better sense of what your blood sugar is doing. But let me tell you, pricking your fingers all day long hurts. They get pretty sore after you've done them 3, 4, 5 times. And that's why I think continuous glucose monitors are so great. And continuous glucose monitors, like I said, they're measuring 24/7. Usually there's a little device that you put on the back of your arm, and then this connects to an app. You just tap your phone on the sensor and you'll get your reading right away. And they also store data from the past 8 hours, so you can see what your blood sugar was doing since the last time you scanned. Let me tell you, continuous glucose monitors are such valuable tools. They tell us so much about our health that most people would have no idea about otherwise. You can see in real time how the foods you are eating are impacting your blood sugar and how that correlates to your mood, your energy levels, your cravings. Nutrisense was kind enough to send me one of their devices to try, along with a membership to their app, which I'm so excited about. I don't know if you guys can tell how excited I am to be trying this out. Like I said, I've used other continuous glucose monitors in the past, but only with just the standard Libre style app that comes with them. But from what I've read about Nutrisense so far, I'm going to be getting a lot more data. I'm going to be able to link up my blood sugar with how well I slept, of course with the food I'm eating, activity levels, things like that. And their membership also comes with dietitian support for the first month. So there's someone you can chat with, a registered professional, straight through the app. I'm about to put on my continuous glucose monitor. I've used other ones in the past, so I more or less know what to do. It's been a while though. So what you want to do is you want to put it on the back of your arm. The video I watched said to find kind of like the fattiest part. This is the only place that you can put it. In the box, you're going to get one little alcohol swab, and you're going to use this to clean the area just before you put it on. So I'm just going to clean right there. And then you have 2 other pieces. I'm just going to open that one up, open this one up as well. And then you put this one down on a hard surface and press this into it. Just like that. And you can see there's just a little needle there. That doesn't actually stay in your arm. That's just there for applying it. And pretty much what you do is, it seems scary, but it actually feels like nothing, I promise you. So I'm just gonna put it there and then press like that. Nothing. That didn't feel like a thing. And now it's on. Nutrisense also gives you this little patch to put over top just to protect it and just to make sure it doesn't get caught on anything. I've never really had an issue with them coming out when I've used them before, but this is just good to have. It's always so much pressure putting things on camera. I feel like I have to do things perfectly. Okay. And Such an awkward angle. I'm like showing you my armpit. There we go. Once you have the sensor on, then make sure you have the app downloaded and you can log in or create an account. To set up the sensor, you just go to settings and then activate a new sensor, but you have to have it in for at least 30 minutes. See, it's telling me I need to wait, so I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. What did I just say? It's always so much pressure doing things, putting things on in front of the camera. I just realized I put the sticker on upside down. Not the end of the world, not the end of the world. If I hold my arm up like this though, then it's the right way up. So I mean, it was all planned. It was all planned. We'll go with that. Now, continuous glucose monitors, you can't actually just go out and buy them from the pharmacy or anywhere really. In most countries, you need a prescription for them, and prescriptions are pretty hard to get unless you're type 2 diabetic, type 1 diabetic. Most healthcare practitioners do not see the value in them for most people, which is really unfortunate because, as I was saying, and as we're hopefully going to see it throughout this video, tracking your blood sugar consistently can tell you so much about your health and just help you to really identify what foods are serving you and what foods are working against you. And the great thing about Nutrisense is that they actually take care of getting you a prescription. You don't have to go in to see your doctor or anything. They'll get it all sorted. Right now, they are only shipping to the United States and to Canada, but they do plan on expanding globally at some point. So you can sign up to their newsletter, I believe, to get updates on that. But anyways, now I think it's been 30 minutes since I first set up the device, so it should be ready to go. Although I will say within the first, I think it's 24 hours that you put the device on, the device is still calibrating, so your results might not be accurate, but after that they become more accurate. But anyways, let's see how we go. Awesome, so we're all set up. Like I said, super simple to use. Just tap it, it vibrates twice, and then you get your reading. I probably won't check in with you again until it's calibrated. So that'll be tomorrow, and then we'll see how my food and my activity and all of that impacts me. Got you, got you, got you, got you. Oh, you're so cute. Have you ever seen such a fluffy cat? Oh. Oh, actually my other cat's pretty fluffy, but she's gonna be fluffier. Today is now the third day I've been wearing the device. Well, I guess the first day didn't really count because it was calibrating. So yesterday it was the first full day, and I guess today's the second. I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to use. Hey Zeus, what are you doing? Yeah, I want to show you guys how easy it is to use. So let's do that. You just open the app, tap it on your sensor, it buzzes twice, and you get your reading. So I actually just had some blueberries when I was driving back from the grocery store, so I'll show you guys. And those blueberries raised my blood sugar higher than it was the whole day yesterday. Not like a super big spike or anything. Before I had the blueberries, my blood sugar was at 5.7, and currently it has spiked up to 7.2, which again, not a huge spike, not the end of the world. I'm expecting this is gonna come down very soon. And this is normal. Like, we shouldn't be afraid of our blood sugar rising because anytime you eat carbohydrates, they are broken down into glucose, which is sugar, and this enters your bloodstream where it can then be used for energy. And if it's not used for energy immediately, then it's stored in either your muscles, your liver, or it's stored as fat. So blood sugar rising is not the end of the world, but where it becomes a problem is when your blood sugar is always spiking and then crashing and then spiking and then crashing. This is when you start to run into issues. So one spike here and there, even a couple throughout the day, and I don't even think I would classify this as a spike because it's not that significant. Yeah, it is not the end of the world. Now, I wanted to quickly talk a bit more about why measuring our blood sugar is so important, because I think the average person just walking down the street really has no concept of what normal blood sugar looks like. It's usually not until we receive a pre-diabetes or a type 2 diabetes diagnosis that we start to understand it, and probably not even that well. But understanding blood sugar, and especially understanding how the foods you're eating are impacting it, helps to prevent diseases down the line. And not only that, but there's lots of short-term benefits as well. And I think that most people have an idea of what foods are considered to be good and what foods are considered to be bad. But when you see the response your body has to those foods from a continuous glucose monitor, it really makes things crystal clear. If we understand blood sugar before it becomes a problem, we will be able to maintain our health and prevent disease. And short-term benefits include more stable energy and less cravings. And who doesn't want that? I also wanted to talk about glycemic variability and what that means. This is basically the changes to our blood sugar that we see over the course of a day. If we are seeing lots of spikes, lots of dips, it's going up and down, this is going to be considered high glycemic variability. And if our blood sugar is more or less stable with maybe a few little bumps, this is low glycemic variability. Low glycemic variability is what we should be striving for, as it is associated with better health. And Nutrisense actually gives you a glycemic variability score for each day. So this is easy to monitor. And this is one of the coolest features of Nutrisense that I've found so far using it, is their scoring system. For every meal you record, you get a score out of 10 for peak, exposure, stability, and recovery, as well as an overall score. And like I said before, this makes it crystal clear to see how bad certain foods actually are for us.
Good morning, guys. So I woke up this morning and did my reading and was a little bit alarmed because it said my blood sugar was like over 6 all night, which is the metric reading. I'll put the imperial conversion of that up on the screen. And it was like 6.8 when I woke up. And I'm like, surely not. Surely that is not what my fasting blood sugar is. So I tested on my blood meter and it was actually 4.7. So more than 2 points below what the CGM was reading. I reached out to my representative, the dietitian who I've been paired with on the app, and she told me it was a simple fix. Sometimes the devices calibrate high or low, so she just adjusted it in line with what my blood glucose meter read. So that might be worth testing when you first put your CGM on, just doing one blood meter reading and making sure they match up. She also said you can adjust the calibration straight through the app yourself through the settings, which is awesome. One thing I was surprised about yesterday is I have this, it's like a coconut milk powder. You just get it from the health food store and you mix it with water. It makes coconut milk. Usually I'll put it in with like a drink, a tea, something like that. Sometimes in my bulletproof coffee. Yeah, so I had some last night. I was just having a tea and I put a little bit in. It spiked my blood sugar. Not too badly. Like I think it went up to 7.4 actually. But for a coconut milk, that's mainly fat. And I think only had 1 carb per serve. So there's definitely something funny going on with that, which I'm a little disappointed about because this stuff's delicious. And I think this is why continuous glucose monitors are such a valuable tool, because there can be hidden ingredients in things that are spiking your blood sugar that you would have no idea about. And I don't think that we should all be living in fear, worrying about everything we're eating and if it's going to spike our blood sugar. But it is good to know, especially for things we're eating all the time.
Hello. So I'm just about to drive for dinner with a friend and we're going out for Mexican food. I've been to this restaurant before. It's really good, but it's also pretty difficult to eat low carb, to eat keto. So this is going to be a cheat meal for me. Cheat meal. I've said on my channel before that I think you don't need to eat keto 100% of the time to get the benefits, that a cheat meal, a cheat day here and there isn't going to kill you. You need to look at the bigger picture, and sometimes it's in your best interest to eat off plan, but it totally depends on the situation. You need to weigh the pros and the cons. For me, I eat whole foods 95% of the time. I cook probably 95% of my meals. I eat out maybe 1 or 2 times a week, get a brunch, get a dinner, if that. So when I am eating out, I give myself a little bit more leniency. But yeah, I'm interested to see, I'm gonna check my blood sugar right now. Interested to see how this dinner affects me because I haven't eaten anything high in carbs since I've had the continuous glucose monitor on. And don't get me wrong, I eat low carb again most of the time, but I do eat higher carb foods every now and then, maybe like once, twice a week. I don't know if I said this on my channel, but one of my favorite foods in the world is popcorn. So I do make that at home, cook it in ghee, I don't know, maybe once a week, maybe every other week. Obviously that's high in carbs. So it's not like I don't eat carbs ever. But then again, I am someone who is currently metabolically healthy, so my body is a bit more resilient than someone who is metabolically unhealthy. Anyways, let's see what my blood sugar is doing. Currently at 4.0 at 6:15. So I'll check in with you guys again after dinner. I might have something to drink. Usually my go-to if I'm out and grabbing a drink is red wine. I always get Pinot Noir. That's low in carbs. It's a dry wine. But we're going to a Mexican restaurant, so I might get a margarita. That will be interesting to see how it affects me. Anyways, I will check in with you guys a little bit later.
Good morning, guys. So last night I just could not be bothered going over the results when I got home. I ended up having 1 margarita and then some tacos and also some nachos. So definitely not what I usually eat, but it was all delicious and no regrets. And it's actually a good thing that I waited until this morning to go over the results because my assigned dietitian actually sent me some insights. So I'm going to put that up on the screen, but I'll also just read some of it out. So she's just going over what we're looking for when we're assessing a glucose response. She talks about peak, exposure, stability, and recovery. She says for peak, you want to avoid repeated exposure over 7.8. And my peak exposure after that meal was 5.4, which is good. Then exposure, she's talking about how fast your blood sugar goes up and then comes back down. You want your glucose to return to pre-meal values within 2 to 3 hours after eating. And she talks about how to evaluate your area under the curve. You want to aim for less than 60, optimally less than 25. So this meal was 40.2, which is what you aim for, but it's not optimal. And then stability, she talks about avoiding major shifts in glucose. For this meal, my delta was 2.1, and ideally you want it to be under 1.7, so not too bad. And then recovery. You want your blood sugar to come back down to baseline within 2 to 3 hours after eating. So mine wasn't quite back down to baseline, but she says the margarita might have had something to do with that. Yeah, so having the registered dietitian that you can just chat to pretty much anytime has been really helpful. As you can see, she's given me a lot of insight into actually understanding what's happening with my blood glucose and how to get the most out of the Nutrisense app. So usually when you're eating a low carb keto diet, your blood sugar is very stable throughout the day. And this is because you're not eating many of the foods that spike blood sugar the most, which are carbohydrates. When you eat carbohydrates, they're broken down into glucose and your blood sugar rises. So if you're not eating these foods, then you're not going to see these big swings in blood glucose. But anyways, that meal didn't impact me as bad as I thought it would. Actually, my blood sugar did spike up again like a couple hours later when I was asleep, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. I expected this meal to not be ideal, but like I said, no regrets. It's just really interesting to see how different foods, different drinks impact you.
We're almost at the end of the video, but before we wrap up, I wanted to quickly give you the biggest takeaways that I've learned using Nutrisense for the last 2 weeks. Continuous glucose monitors are amazing tools that I wish more people had access to. But unfortunately, unless you're diabetic, it's pretty difficult to get them in most countries, including the United States, Canada, and Australia. So I really appreciate Nutrisense making these devices more accessible. Not only that, but the Nutrisense app allows you to actually make the connection between your lifestyle choices and how they are impacting your body. The way you can log meals, log different ingredients, and get data on how your body is responding to these foods is invaluable. If the average person could see their blood sugar throughout the day, it would make making healthier choices easy. And especially when it comes to foods that we're often told are healthy, but this doesn't match up when you see your blood sugar response to them. The one that always comes to mind is orange juice. We're told it's healthy, we're told it's a good source of vitamin C, etc., etc. But when we drink it, and especially when we drink it first thing in the morning, it can spike your blood sugar through the roof. And after that spike, it's going to come crashing back down. Our blood sugar impacts our mood, our energy, and our overall health. And continuous glucose monitors could help so many people. So overall, I was very impressed with the Nutrisense app and all of the features. The support from the dietitian was great as well. I had a couple questions that I asked her over the last couple of weeks. Again, right now it's only available in the United States and Canada. So if you guys want to check them out, you can click the link in my description box down below. And they've given me a promo code to save $50, which is KETO50. And let me know in the comment section down below if you've used a continuous glucose monitor in the past. Have you tried Nutrisense? What was your experience? Let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love chatting with you in the comment section. I try to reply to as many comments as I can in the first maybe 2 hours after I post the video. So if you have a question, leave it down there. If you guys did enjoy this video, you might also enjoy my video on the best low glycemic foods. You can check it out here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can find it here. And if you want to check out my keto diet and carnivore diet coaching programs, you can find them here. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.